everybody, to Rock Resurgence Radio. Guess what day it is?
Hump Day.
Hump Day! That means Hump Day headlines is no longer part of anything we're doing. It's Hump Day Headbangers.
Hump Day Headbangers, baby.
Yeah, I got a little confused.
That's okay.
But anyways, we're going to do Hump Day Headbangers. We're going to give you a couple songs each for you to check out on your own, and hopefully you find something you like.
Yeah. So, and then, so coming up this week, on Friday, our episode this week that premieres is Aerosmith. The first time we did an Aerosmith episode, we got a Versus. We got a couple of 80s albums. Permanent Vacation came out in 87, was kind of their album that got them back in business. And then the follow-up to that, Pump. And we did a Versus between the two albums. So tune in on Friday.
Tune in. It was good. Yeah. Good episode. Lots of surprises.
Yeah, definitely.
Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's start this off. I got a couple of songs from a band called Nonpoint.
All right.
They're a heavier band. I've seen them a few times here in town. They kick some ass. And the songs I'm talking about, there's a song called What a Day. That came off their 2000 album Statement. And I'm just going to read you a little lyrics. Yeah, because they're fun. And I'll kind of try to do it in the vein of how they sing them. Sitting on your ass all day, thinking about your hangover and the party you left your fucking keys at, and had to beg for a ride from a stranger that never met before. He acted so friendly that I had to take the ride, but for some reason he resembled that guy, wanted forearm robbery and beating on his kids. You remind me of your stepson, my stepson. He chuckled with a grin. It's just fun. He just kind of goes through this, and it's funny because, he takes a ride from a guy, and it goes on, what a day, what a day. You should have stayed home shooting the breeze all day. What a day, what a day. So it just kind of goes on and on how his day gets shittier and shittier. It's a great song. If you haven't heard it, check it out. And then the second song I did is off their 2014 album, called The Return, and the song is called Breaking Skin. And this song just kicks royal ass. If you haven't heard it, great guitar, heavy guitar. Drummer Ron Rivera commented this was a different kind of song for Nonpoint. There's a lot of melody, but it's also still heavy. The heaviness has always been in the back of our minds. It's a natural direction for us. Most bands soften their sound as they go on. We get more aggressive and heavy. That's what Nonpoint does best. So check those two songs out. Great, great songs off of two different albums. Check them out. You'll like them. If you like a little bit of heaviness, that's why it's called Headbangers.
So your first one was from 2000, and the second one was from what year did
14.
That one come out? So you got kind of an oldie and and then a little bit newer one.
Yep. I gotta see. 2000. Yep, in 2014. Yep.
Okay. Nonpoint. That's another one that I like. Last week maybe it wasn't last week, but we talked about a couple of bands that I never really got big into. Volbeat, Pop Evil was another one.
Yep.
It's weird today when I was working, I turned on the radio and there was a Pop Evil song on, and I'm like, oh, I've heard this one before too. So
you remember which song?
No, I don't. Of course, I should have took a picture of it or something just to say.
Was it rockin'?
Yeah, it was a little rockin'.
It's probably Deal with the Devil or Trenches.
Yeah,
off their Onyx album. But yeah, so those are two songs, and you got two songs.
I do got two songs, and I'll start with my oldie. So I try to do an oldie and then a new one. Actually, neither one of these are really, well, excuse me. The oldie is an oldie. The oldie is L.A. Guns.
Cocksucker. You gotta leave that in. I had a cocksucker in it. That was great.
I got a little tickle in my schnoz there.
Woo!
Okay. So I picked a banger, Sex Action from the LA Guns debut album.
Goody.
Yeah, so I like how Chad's doing it, where he picks two from the same band. I struggle with that. I try to pick just something that I listened to lately that's a banger, an oldie, and then something a little newer. When I get to my newer one, it's not so new. It's like, but anything after 2000 to me is kind of a new song.
Yeah, for sure.
It's weird.
I mean, it's not like it's 25 years old or something.
Yeah, if it came out in 2000, it is 25 years old. I hate to say it, but my new one came out in 2007. But LA Guns, the Sex Action, came out in '88, and that we just recently did an episode of LA Guns versus Cocked and Loaded. So this is off the first one. Go check it out if you're just looking for something a little
excellent
fun
song,
and upbeat, banger to listen to today on Hump Day.
Yep.
Sex Action. Why not? And my new one, like again, it's not that
newer.
So my new one is from 2007, a band called Stereoside. The album was called So Long, and the song I picked is the very last song on the album. It's called On Our Way, and I'm going to read some of the lyrics, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about the song first. It's kind of one of those, it makes you hearken back to the old days or about music, kind of like, you know, when you have Tough did that song, why is my brain not working? Yeah, American Hair Band, and they talked, you know, some of the lyrics were talking about the bands that, you know, were hair bands.
Them or whatever.
Yep. And so I'm going to just read the lyrics, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about how the song kind of sounds. I'm not going to read the lyrics or try to sing them in any way, but verse 1, we were 6 years old, sitting in the front row, singing every word to every song. It's true. We got the rock and roll rhythm and blues. While the record man's screaming that rock and roll's dead, we think he should sell cars instead. I'm a car salesman, so that's kind of funny. He's a fool. They try to take away the things that are true. So you care about rock, just sit right there. We'll take your ass back to the early years. That's kind of what we like to do on our show.
Mm-hmm.
Where the jams were tight, the kids could play, the music didn't suck, and the bands weren't gay. Whatever.
There you go.
To Waylon and Willie, to Hank and Cash. I know that's some country shit they're talking about, but to Paige and Plant, to Axel and Slash. A little bit of Alice and motherfucking Chains. We miss you, Lane. Well, he sure could sing. And it goes on and it goes on. We'll be 100 years old, sitting in the front row, you know, still singing every word with our devil horns in the air, because baby, we were born in the year, you know. And it goes on, and it, you know, to Tyler and Perry and the Brothers Van Zant, from Eagles and Elvis to Stills and Nash, with a little Kid Rock beat on the back. Yeah, we were on our way.
It's a cool tune.
Yeah, it's kind of soft-ish, so it's not really a headbanger. But I just kind of wanted people to maybe check this one out if you hadn't heard it.
Yep,
Stereoside, you know, the rest of the album kind of reminds me a little bit of Nickelback, that kind of rock music, which you can say whatever you want about Nickelback. Most people that listen to the Nickelback like it.
Excellent
whether
stuff.
they fucking admit it or not. But anyway, the song Stereoside, On Our Way, from 2007 album So Long. And the album cover is pretty cool too. I'll throw that up there.
Yeah, it is. So those are your two songs. Those are my two songs.
Yeah.
That is it for another episode of Headbangers. I like this new deal. I do. Headlines is a little tough.
Yeah.
I like, you know, picking out a couple songs to our viewers to let them know that, you know, sometimes, you know, like my stuff's a little heavier stuff that I listen to. We don't talk about it on the show because it's not part of the show, kind of thing. So I like to get a couple songs out there that, you know, if you like a little bit heavier stuff, you can go check these guys out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to steer you in the right direction on the stuff that, you know, that I enjoy. So you have to let us know in the comments what you think of Hump Day Headbangers. I hope you like it, because we're going to continue doing it whether you do or not. So
yeah, we're not fucking CNN, so the headlines doesn't work. We're not Fox News. We're
right. So
you know, we're talking about music, so we might as well talk about a couple of tunes each.
Yep.
So just throw them out there. Let us know what you think of them too, if you got a chance to go out and listen to them.
All right.
Especially the ones that maybe you haven't heard before.
Well, that's it for that. Let's take her off air. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out our new episode on Friday, Aerosmith.
Yep.
So we'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We really hope you enjoyed our content. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. We'd greatly appreciate it. Links to everything we discussed will be included in episode notes. Feel free to check those out as well. Until next time, stay golden, Pony Boy, and rock on.